culture has a food. Certainly we've got to have one. And we don't have a food, so therefore we can't have a culture. And I said, no, we do have a food. And we went around the room and we discovered that everybody went primarily to drive-through restaurants, fast food places, because it was too hard to get in and out of the car to go to a regular restaurant.
I remember that they were selling T-shirts with wheelchairs on them that you could wear to demonstrate your pride in being disabled. And it was very confusing for me because I didn't have a wheelchair, and so I didn't quite fit in with the disabled image that was beginning to be cultivated in the early 70s. At that time, it meant that there were little signs on parking spaces periodically with little wheelchair symbols. And we had that symbol on our T-shirt that we were supposed to wear to college. And I thought, I don't want to do this. This is not it, okay? I've been going to physical therapy since I was this tall because I don't want to be in a wheelchair. And now you want me to wear wheelchairs with pride. It was very confusing.
When I say that I have a hidden disability, I guess I think of the general sort of, walking down the street, what do people hear, what do people see? But it really depends on context. I mean, if you and I were in a race to read a book, it would be very evident that I have a disability. I mean, it would be very visible. It would not be hidden at all.
I see terminology spreading. I go to what I consider the hinterlands of this country, and I hear people who seem to be pretty much disconnected from the movement, saying things like AB, meaning able-bodied person. I hear them saying disability pride, which was an unheard of term 10 years ago. I hear them even now talking about disability culture. People who never talk about culture in any other sense are talking about a disability culture. And I feel a real sense of pride and excitement when I hear that.
Disability pride for me means depathologizing my disability and my life and my body and the way I move. Well, because I was in a car accident, when I was a kid, and I was saying a lot of little kids sleep in the back seats of cars and they don't have a lifetime of stigma because of it. And so why should I? Just because someone was driving drunk, it's like how odd to be stigmatized for something that happened in 30 seconds of your life, or the way you were born, or something like that. I mean, it's a ridiculous idea.
So I finished my grocery shopping. I put all my groceries in my bag, and I was leaving the store, and I went outside and I put on my sunglasses, very much like the ones I'm wearing today, and there on the corner was a man who was sitting in a wheelchair, and there were 3 women, non-disabled women, standing around, and they were throwing yogurt to each other, and the women and the guy were covered in yogurt. There was yogurt in his hair, there was yogurt all up and down him, there was yogurt all over the women, there was yogurt in his wheelchair, there was yogurt in his mouth, and they were laughing. They were laughing, and they were so excited. And I looked at that and I said, okay, I can do that. I can do that. I can live here. I can be like that. And I went off and went back to my apartment and spent the next 4 months in Berkeley just exploring the pleasure and the fun of life as a disabled woman.
Never mind the words of love. I have heard them before.
Now, my friend Neil says disabled people are drag queens because people see us coming. Now, I see his point.
Skip over that part. Waiting for somebody to pull through for me. It's gonna have to be me now. Somebody to pull through
I'm working in the Center for Independent Living, and this one was run mostly by able-bodied people, a big problem. They were always castigating me because when I talked to people in wheelchairs, I didn't squat. We had a little brochure that said when you're talking to someone in a wheelchair, you're supposed to squat. Now this body, you know, it's got problems standing up like this. I went to years of therapy to stand like this, to climb stairs, you know, and I can do a few poses, but that's about it. You want me to stand like this and talk to you because you're sitting down? The hell with it. All right, we need new etiquette. What if you're standing, someone else is sitting? What you do, you walk up to them, you say hi. You use your Jane Fonda skills. You wear a good belt, you know, something very significant. It could lead somewhere.
Here you come again, arms across a broken heart. You want me to be free. I know what you mean, but I am waiting for.
I have a little card which I use for these occasions, which said, you know, it responds to somebody, for example, who I may choose to ignore in the post office, and I'm addressing an envelope, and they come along and say, "Isn't it marvelous what they can train you to do nowadays?" You know, and I don't respond to them, so they try and gather a crowd and say, "Isn't it marvelous what they could teach them to do nowadays?" You know, and so I get to take out this card, my little red card, which I hand out to everybody in the post office, or peddle out, I suppose you would say, and it says, "As a proud disabled woman, I find your comments and questions regarding my disability as obstreperous, unwelcome, downright insensitive or something. Please turn over." And on the back it says, "This card is saturated with a noxious substance. Both your hands will fall off in the next 24 hours." And nobody ever gets the joke, you know, but I like it, you know. It's my defense in a hostile world, you know.
Somebody to fall through for me is gonna have to be me now. Yeah. Okay. What is the meaning of the word love? Do you mean what you say?
ADAPT now stands for Americans Disabled for Assistance Programs Today. We're campaigning for a program to redirect at least a quarter of the money that the government pays to nursing homes to give it to individual people with disabilities so they can hire the assistance they need, so they can live where they want to live rather than being institutionalized.
Don't fool around, 'cause I am aching for somebody to fall through for me. It's gonna have to be me now. Somebody to fall through for me. It's gonna have to be me now. Yeah.
My primary audience is always my community, and I hope always to do work that they, you know, my community can go, yeah. But I want it to be such good work that I get places where they wouldn't normally let a GIMP in, if you know what I'm saying here.
I was standing underneath a beautiful tree. There was nobody there. My heart was aglow. I was hoping for
things like menstruation and childbirth and, you know, lesser female muscle strength were really seen as fixed, inevitable, and necessarily negative. You know, I think in 100 years disability will look really different, and the attitudes of many of my colleagues will look very quaint.
somebody